G'day everyone. Well, after a few months of really hard work of trekking through the bush, this is my first video of some mountain bike explorations of some old mine sites around the Fraser coast. So the reason why this part of the video starts with some narration and some stills is because it was, well, to be honest, there's not a lot left of the mines. That some of them are about 70, 80, 90 plus years old. You know, Queensland is a state of extreme sun, wind, rain. It's taken its toll on a lot of the sites. So this video starts with some photos and some short clips of the Torbanlea Robertson mine site that was made infamous in the 1900s. It's on private land, so out of respect to the property owners, there's not too much video taken, mostly stills with no landmarks. Why did I start my very first video here? Well, back to my earlier mention of the year 1900, when there was a pretty bad incident when 5 miners died. It was Gamby, Griggs, Johnson and 2 Houston brothers, really close to where this photo here in this little wash was taken. They all died. There was a big gas explosion well underground, and they managed to get them out and onto the train and ship them off to Maryborough, but none of them actually survived. So, and pretty sad for all the family and friends, and probably a bit of the Howard and Torban Lee mining history is that there was no formal inquest until 75 miners died over 20 years later at a really famous incident at Mount Gamby, where I think about 70 miners died. So this is me just cruising around the property today. Met the owner. He was nice enough to let me explore for a little while. He was pretty busy. You can see here that's actually where the old mine shaft was. You can see it's collapsed. There's some old rock work here. Pretty cool to explore. And after the narration of this video, I kick off a video of the Churchill mine, and I'm only on a mountain bike, so that's where all my exploration's been so far. So I get off Churchill Mines Road and I head to the old Churchill mine, which you'll see a little bit later in the video, and then I pick up the old railway corridor, and again it's what's left of it. There really isn't much left. It's, you know, it's just huge piles of rubble pretty much, the odd sort of little bit of machinery, and you have to be really careful getting around because there's lots of sort of metal and cabling that's sort of strewn through the bush. So this little video that you're watching now, this is me approaching the Torban Lee mine site. So the only thing that's really left is all these big mullock heaps. You'll see a boiler pop up in a sec. Here's a shot of like an old Leyland tractor from the 70s, I believe, or early 80s. Again, not much left of it. So yeah, this is what started my adventures off today, and ended up, I think, spending about 5 hours in the bush. It's pretty hard work. It's this video is filmed like right in the middle of summer in Queensland, so it's really humid, really hot. I don't have a four-wheel drive, don't have a motorbike, don't really intend on getting yeah, here's this boiler from the Torban Lee mine. It's pretty cool, all riveted, so it'd have to be maybe even pre-1900s. So if you've found this and you've searched for it on YouTube and you're tuning in, you must have a bit of an interest in our local history. So enjoy what I've spent a few months documenting for you all. Hope you enjoy the video. Alright, so here we are, guys, at the old site of the Churchill mines. It's probably my 3rd time visiting this site. First time out here with the camera. You can see all these unnatural mullock heaps, which I thought was all waste coal. It's all the rock, all the waste rock that they mined out. So the reason I'm back here is because I've been exploring around these areas for about a month, and hang on, I'll just show you what I'm standing on. And I thought this might have been not too sure what this is. It's riveted, so it's really old. But I thought this might have been a open face coal mine, but speaking to a farmer that lives out at Torban Lee this morning, gave me some really cool info. Said most of these sites had vertical shafts that went down. I think he said the Begowan 12 site went down almost 1,000 feet. And this gentleman I spoke to, won't mention his name or where he lives or anything really about him, but he worked in one of the mines for over 20 years and was also responsible in sealing some of them up when requested by the mines, Queensland Mines or Natural Resources Department. So he did mention they filled them up with concrete pads, and I found one of those out here, so I can find that again. From memory, last time I stood on, I thought it might have been the relics or the foundations of an old cottage, but it was hollow, so it could indeed be one of the sealed up shafts. So we're going to go have a little bit of a look. I'll give you guys a bit of a tour around this site. Here it is, stumbled across it. So again, the first time I found this, I just thought it would have been maybe just what's left of some old foundations, but I don't know if the camera's going to pick it up. But there's a big echo sound under there, so don't really want to spend too much time standing above it, although it looks like it's a few feet thick of concrete. A little chimney structure over here, it's all filled in. Overlooks one of these pits. Some of these mullikeeps are really pretty big. So the biggest one here is probably about 30-40 feet high. Let's go have a look at this little structure over here. Here we are on the bottom of one of these little pits. Got some more concrete over here. And I don't know how far back that goes. You really have to be careful walking around. You don't really know what's under your feet. And today I've been attacked by a swarm of hornets. It's really bloody hot. I don't know why I'm deciding to do this in the middle of Queensland summer. I might come back and do a bit of digging, because if that's the vertical shaft up there, somewhere there had to be a decline, which was really only about 7 or 10 degrees. And this could have been it. Definitely looks like it's been backfilled. Maybe some concrete here at one stage. Pretty interesting. Let's keep exploring. Yeah. Concrete blocks here that we've just found. First time seeing these. Would have housed some of the bigger bits of machinery. Look at this old pipe work on the ground. Interesting inscription on this old stonework here. On the side of this little heap. I'll show you why we've got to be careful walking around. In just a second. It's obviously snakes are the number one concern. Unstable ground close second. But they didn't do a very good job of packing up these sites. So you've got all these old bolts and all kinds of nasty stuff sitting on the ground. So, other than sealing the mine up and probably taking as much metal as they could salvage, they didn't do much else. Look at the gauge of this steel. So somewhere on this site, looking back to the west, that's where the old train line used to go. That's what would have pulled all the coal out of here. Let's see if we can get down into this pit and have a squeeze. Wow.
Alright, here we are coming up onto one of the biggest Mullicky waste rock heaps. This thing is massive. I don't know with the fisheye if it'll do it justice. Getting absolutely slammed by mozzies. Bad day to forget my air guard. Give you a good view from top of the tallest mound down in one of the big pits. Go for a walk down there. I don't really want to be falling down there. It's really loose stuff, all shaly. Looks like there's been about 3 or 4 bushfires that have come through here since the mine stopped. Here we are just on the edge of one of the biggest pits that people have just thrown old car tyres in. I've got some suspicions that that's some asbestos sheeting down there. I shan't be travelling down there. And part of the reason why you just got to keep watching where you walk. It just, you know, when I said they didn't do a good job of packing up, there's just hundreds of metres of this old barbed wire that just looks so much like part of the ground, but when you stand on that you'll get a nasty bit of it through your foot. See some old brickwork down in there. This may have been a dam. There's normally 3 or 4 really big dams that they needed to operate the mines. Just to give you a bit of an idea of how we got to watch your footing. There's so many little pockets of loose shaly rock that just have big vertical drops underneath them. You would never know if you're going to drop down 2 feet or 50 feet. Whee, look at this one. Alright, so we'll leave this site. We're going to go a few clicks towards the old train line, what I believe is the Churchill extended mine. We'll have a bit of a cruise around there. I'll show you this relics of the old railway line that they used to use to ship coal out from the bay. It's pretty cool. Here we are, guys, at the old site of the Churchill extended mine. It's probably one of the biggest mollusk heaps, and you can see why I thought it was all coal initially, because the ground is just black. But that's just due to the amount of coal they shipped out of here. It's still all rock under that, all waste rock, mud, clay. So I'll take a bit of a cruise around. It's hard work around here because we've had some big rain lately. Find a spot to sit and have some lunch. It's not swarming with mozzies. And it's coming up here on the left. There's a couple more of those concrete pads I'm going to check out. I'll show you up here first if I can get up here. So you see a lot of motos have come through here. I bet you they'll know some other cool sites deep in the bush. I won't be going down there. That's a massive stack waiting to happen. I've already fallen down one of these hills. So, somewhere right near us is a series of mine shafts that were big enough and deep enough to excavate all this rock. So this is the biggest waste rock pile of them all. Let's see if we go right along here. This is a pretty cool site. We're getting really close to the side of the old railway. It's only a few hundred metres behind us. Whee. See if we can find these concrete pads for you. There we go. So whatever sort of gauge of machinery I had on here was pretty big. I'm assuming if this was the vertical pit or the shaft, you can probably picture a winch on top of that. Let's have a bit of a look around. It's a combination of treading really hard to scare the snakes away and then make sure you don't twist your ankle. Got a bit of rail here, cool. See the scale of it, this is a big mine site. See some of the old timber in there. That's milled timber, that's not just a burnt-out log. Another one sitting back over there. So I haven't seen any snakes today, just one really big lizard. Oh, it's hot. Glad I got my camel pack. So I'm not getting any further through there. Alright. Here we are at the old Maryborough to Harvey Bay Pier train line, what's left of it. I'll stop to show you this, and then there's been fires through here as well. There's actually a part of the bridge a little bit further south that's still intact. We'll hop to that. here we are. Good spot to stop for lunch, not too mozzie infested. Look at the size of those timbers. It's pretty cool. So this is the line that ran north to south, and then one part branched off west and went to Torban Lee, and the other one went, I think, to Aldershot. And then once it got to Torban Lee, it spliced off sort of dozens of different ways to get to all the mine sites. And I believe this ran all the way to the pier. There was a council talking about regenerating part of it for a bike path, but there's only about 2 k's that's done between Pigford Lane and Dundarren Road. That's about the only sort of part that's graded. The rest of it's all just, this part's obviously not fire affected. This is the part that I found in my first exploration. When I came up here in my car, I've only got a little front wheel drive car, so I couldn't get too much further. So I started hitting it on the bike. Alright, time for some lunch. Alrighty. Alright guys, we're about 500 metres just south of Dundarren Road. And a few people saying that the council are going to extend this old railway corridor a bit further, but can't see that happening because whatever structure used to be in here to get over this big creek is long gone. That'd be very expensive. So not really much more to show you. Bit of a boring ride home from here. I'll probably just record a couple of quick clips over the little rail bridges, and yeah, I'll see you on the next exploration. Got good muddy today. Alrighty guys, that gets us to the end of today's little vid. Mostly filmed just this for my kids, but it'd be cool if anyone curious about the area wants to tune in and give it a watch. So, mad day of exploring today. We started near the Brum River. I think we've ridden about 40 k's over 4 hours. Muddied up my bike good and proper. Definitely prefer the mud though, and on the wet trails, because that soft sand last weekend I was at, he was just an absolute killer. So today we visited the mine site where 5 miners were killed in the 1900s. That's where our day started, but again, didn't really want to film any parts of that. It's all on private property and won't be heading back there again. Really cool to see though. Visited the Churchill mines, and then we followed the rail corridor all the way back to this little hut, which is just off Dundarren Road. Dundarren Road, where it intersects the rail corridor. It's about 100 metres down that way. You can probably hear the cars. So yeah, I'll just film those last couple of little railway bridges on the way back to Pigford Lane, and see you guys on the next one. Alright, just stopped off to show you this last little part of the trip. Got some old piers here. This is part of the bridge that they've completely restored. Just halfway between Dundarren Road and Pigford Lane. It's pretty cool. I'd say this sort of structure would have been what was required where the corridor comes to an end, about 1 k to the west of here, south of here, sorry. Well, if you got this far guys, thanks for watching, and that's our first video. Like I said initially, there's not really much left to document, but that's what we found from the last 3-4 months of explorations. It's really hard work getting through the bush on a mountain bike, so our next video will probably see us head to
some more western areas out near Mount Shamrock, Mount Walsh, Biggenden, up north in a few little places north of Childers. And then my wife and I are planning to head to Mount Balpal or Bopple, not too sure how you pronounce it yet. There's some old granite and graphite mines and gold mines that are meant to be around that mountain. Really hard to sort of scope it out, so we'll just have to explore the area and see what comes of it. So that's about it, guys. If you got this far, thanks for watching. Like I said, I mostly just recorded this just to show my kids what I do all weekend. But yeah, if you've watched, thanks for tuning in, and it'll probably be a few months, but once we get there, we'll see you on the next episode. Cheers.